Hey players, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be talking about everything we know about the PlayStation 6 and my thoughts on what we can expect with release date, specs, price, and rumors. Just so you guys know, this is the latest video Sony released. Although it is not the official PlayStation 6, I know you guys are just as excited about it as I am. You might be surprised about some of the theories we can make with the scarce information that we have, and we will definitely be getting a PS6 since Sony has trademarks PS6 through 10. These videos are all about you, so you should subscribe to keep the stream of PlayStation knowledge coming. So let's dive right into it. First off, aesthetics. What is the PS6 going to look like? It's impossible to do much more than guess what the PS5 will look like right now, but there are many interesting concept designs across the web created by fans. I think it's going to be a similar shape and size to the PS5, but with a slick, new futuristic looking design like some of these on the screen now. The next thing we'll look at is at the potential release dates for the PS6. Here we can use the past to predict the future, so here's a timeline of all the PlayStation releases, not including mid-generation versions like the Slims and Pros. So the PS1 was released on the 9th of September 1995, PS2 was released on the 26th of October 2000, PS3 was released on the 17th of November 2006, the PS4 was released on the 15th of November in 2013, and the PS5 was released on the 12th of November in 2020. Notice the gaps between the console development. They increased from 5 years between the PS1 and 2 to 6 years between the PS2 and 3 to 7 years between the PS3, PS4, and PS5. Notice how they all released between October and November, and that's because Sony wants those sweet Christmas sales, so it's an almost certainty that the PlayStation 6 will release in the months of October or November. They can't leave it too late or buyers won't have a chance to purchase one given the rate which technology is progressing and the time needed to develop these new technologies. I really think the PlayStation 6 will release in late 2027 or 2028. It's highly unlikely that we'll see it in 2026 since the last 3 console generations have all had 7-year windows, so our prediction for the release date is October or November 2027 or October to November 2028. The next thing we'll be talking about is tech specs. Once again, we can use the past to predict the future here by looking at the technology jumps between the PS3, PS4, and PS5. So between the PS3 and PS4 generations, Sony changed the overall architecture of the console to be more similar to that of a high-spec PC. They switched to AMD manufactured CPU and GPU, giving the PS4 much more computing power so that it's able to perform significantly better and handle more computationally demanding games with bigger worlds and running more subroutines. Within their games, the CPU of the PS3 had just 2 cores clocked at 3.2 GHz each, while the PS4 had 8 cores and 8 threads clocked at 1.6 GHz each, and the PS5 had 8 cores and 16 threads clocked at 3.5 GHz each. Between every version, there is a massive jump in processing power to CPU. CPUs today are already capable of a mind-blowing 5.3 plus GHz when they're overclocked, so in another 5 years we could see an equally huge jump in processing power. The GPU is a similar situation, the PS3 having a max of 1.8 teraflops, the PS4 having a max of 1.84 teraflops, and the PS5 having a max of 10.3 teraflops, so the GPU of the PS6 will likely see a similar kind of jump in power with new technologies like Unreal Engine 5. Video game graphics are becoming more and more photorealistic, so we can eventually see photorealistic graphics within the PS6 and its fancy new GPU, which I imagine to be in excess at 15 teraflops or more. I won't go over every single part here, but based on these theories, we can also expect things like greater capacity, faster RAM, and faster storage. For the controller, I imagine Sony is going to stick with a similar design to the DualSense. That is the pinnacle of modern controllers, and since they revealed the DualSense Edge with 5 new features on top of all the the other capabilities, the DualSense has like adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. We do expect to see all these features plus the stable standard ones on a new controller, and maybe even some new ones on top of that by replacing the touchpad with the touchscreen, which could for example be used to type with a digital keyboard or have some interesting in-game uses for the first-party developers like Radar, given how first-party developers make the most use of the DualSense full capabilities. Now let's talk about the price. Console prices have always been around $400 to $600 US. With another 5 years of inflation, it could be more than that. However, it's long been known that video game consoles are lopsided with the manufacturer making their profit on the games. Sony will also want their consoles to be affordable for parents that will buy the new console for their kids around Christmas time and beyond, so that they won't want it to be prohibitively expensive or they'll miss out on a lot of potential sales. I still think the price is going to be in excess of $500 by the time the PS6 is unveiled by Sony, partly due to inflation and partly due to the increased cost of the better hardware that we'll see. Guys, moving along to the new features. The user interface, as with every new console, we can expect a slick new user interface. Hopefully this time they'll put the trophies on the home screen and include themes on launch, but who knows what it will look like right now. Maybe even wire-free low latency connection to the TV at 120 FPS. They likely won't increase the frame rate to more than 120 frames because there's no real benefit, since fun fact, it's already close to the upper frame rate of the human eye. So players, that wraps it up for this one. If you found this video informative, make sure to share this video with your friends and drop a like. Also, leave a comment down below on your thoughts and predictions on the PS6. And finally, make sure to subscribe for more content just like this. So guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.